This is the Stubborn German Podcast, coming to you from the beautiful and well-equipped Stubborn German Brewing Company here in delightful Waterloo, Illinois. I'm Kevin Ostie, joined, as always, by our esteemed co-host, our esteemed host. I'm the co-host this time. Mr. Chris Ron, number one.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
We are joined by our very special guest, Mrs. Tammy Ron.
Hello.
Hey, Tammy, how are you?
Hi, Tammy.
How's it going?
It's going great. And, of course, our esteemed producer, Mr. Jarod Chasson.
Happy Flag Day.
It is
Happy Flag Day.
a very happy Flag Day.
It's a great day.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that the Stubborn German Brewing Company is well equipped.
Yeah,
and
I
the
was
reason
gonna
why
ask
I
why.
said that is as I sit here, I look across at this amazing array of bourbon on the shelf and whiskeys and different colored bottles, and then right in front of that is this precision double row of tap handles with your huge variety of beer. How many taps with the other one on the side? What are we looking at?
We're up to 18 now.
18 different taps.
Yep.
That's impressive.
We're busy.
And you said variety. There is quite the variety right now in your beers.
We kind of have a little bit of everything. We went for a spell there where we actually had no IPA on tap whatsoever for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't think anyone really seemed to care.
No, they cared.
Oh, they did
They
good.
cared.
Yeah.
They asked.
All
yeah.
right.
So you were
Good.
tapped out.
Yeah, we were tapped out. Yep.
Yeah. Well, not now. So that's
Not
good.
now. No.
So you kind of charged up for the summer.
Yep.
In this part of the world. We're fairly close to the St. Louis metro area. For those following along with a globe, we went from kind of a mild spring to a hot summer in one day.
Yeah, like overnight.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
It's pretty brutal.
So it's good that you've got a full array of fresh, refreshing beer on tap for these hot days.
And we're into the time of year where I look at all 18 and I'm like, okay, that's a light beer. Everything is just like a light lager or a variation of that, or maybe a fruity light lager. But everything is light colored except for Shits and Giggles. And so this year, it's like my goal to keep Shits and Giggles and another dark beer on of some sort, because we always have. Seems like one a week, a guy will come in and be like, "What kind of stouts do you have?" I'm just a stout drinker. Those guys that drink stout all year long. And, there's a market for that, and there is a tap handle for that here this year.
Well, it's interesting because you try to choreograph your presentation of flavors, and it turns out somebody always wants something different.
I know.
No matter what he brews, people will be like, well, what about this? It's like, oh.
Yeah. I think I once heard a guy say, what is the opposite of that beer? Okay, I want that, even though you don't have it. So for those who are joining us for the very first time, we're sorry. But we do have a fun little competition in which I think there's only been one winner, right? That's still the only one.
It is Kevin.
Still you.
In almost a couple of years of doing this.
Yep.
A game called the German Word of the Day.
That's it. And I have the German word of the day, and that is Eimer.
Eimer. Interesting. Well, we like to be polite here.
We do.
And,
I'm rolling my eyes
Ladies
in
first.
case you can't see.
You can see it through the
Eimer
microphone.
means a coaster that has gotten wet.
The soggy coaster.
Wow.
Okay. Eimer, the soggy coaster. That's Tammy's guess.
That
I
sounds
like
like a
it.
children's
bad.
book.
Eimer.
Eimer, the soggy coaster.
I'm going to go a little more literal or oral. Armor. Like
Armor,
a suit
okay.
of armor.
Armor. Okay,
Yeah,
good,
all right.
good. Eimer, armor.
All right. I'm going to say it is the action of violently poking somebody in the eye.
Wow, very
them-
specific.
Gave them an Eimer.
An Eimer. Now I have an Eimer. Thank you.
I had a lot of time to think about this while I was in space for the past 2 episodes, and I had to grovel to get my gig back here because I was taking too much of Chris's spotlight and too much of the proceeds. So that's all behind
right,
me
all
now.
the proceeds.
I didn't want Chris to give me an Eimer, so
Right. So he's
I had
back.
to crawl back.
That's great. Yeah. So the last couple episodes we were doing the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
That's right.
And had fun there.
We
Kevin-
were down a man. We
Yep.
missed you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Well, I
we did.
appreciate that. I missed you guys. This feels like it's been forever.
And if you're listening to this now and you got through all that and you're back for this one, man, you're going to get a good one today.
That's right.
We're going to deliver
Well, we'll be delivering the answer to the German word of the day,
at the end of the episode.
which I'll put a nickel down. It's not a violent poke in the eye.
You never know.
But who knows? So, it's kind of funny. There are people here sitting at the Stubborn German Brewing Company that are, I'll say regulars, people that you've seen before. There's people that are new here. And we've talked before at length about the experience of coming here and navigating the different craft beers and what's behind the bar. But it seems like a lot of people have some repeat questions about stuff that happens here, right?
Yeah, so this is your FAQ episode. We're going to answer all those, right?
Nice. So is there a running list? Is there a tally of...
There is, yeah.
Oh.
Chris always has a list.
Well, yeah. And we have Chris and Tammy, so it's like List-a-palooza. I bet.
And my list is actually printed out. So
mine's on my computer, but I think I got them all memorized. Actually, I know that you have yours, so I'll be just fine because I have the same list.
So is this a potential top 10, or is it a...
I have 8.
8?
All right.
Well, maybe we can throw a couple more in along the way.
Yeah, I'm sure we will, because I literally just thought of one on my way
There we
up
go.
here.
We're up to 9.
Great.
9.
So, this is 9. This is our chance to kind of poke fun at ourselves of some things that we think that customers get driven crazy by when they come here. Like, why do they not have food? And we will go over that. And this is also kind of our chance to vent and then explain why we don't have food and stuff. So this is that episode. And if we offend someone, I'm sorry right now.
Well, if you offend anybody who should be offended is you at this point.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these questions we get very often, and sometimes people, give us a little trouble about it. So hopefully, if they're listening to this, which I don't know if they will be or not, but this will kind of give us some reason, or give them some reasoning behind, like, the business aspect of it, and kind of just...
Here's the why.
This brewery is a reflection of Chris and I, and this is how it is, and we're stubborn Germans, so...
There you go.
So if you don't like it, have another.
If the question comes up again, we can say, listen to podcast number whatever, and you'll get the answer to that.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
You might as well just record this on a bunch of, STF cards and put them under the bar. Somebody has just hand them the card.
Here you go.
Go home, do your homework, and then come back.
Try again.
So on our top 10, what's... I'm going to extrapolate that there's going to be 10. So what's number 10?
So the first one is that we do not serve food at Stubborn German Brewing in Waterloo, Illinois.
This is correct.
We don't. And we get some trouble for this because people, and I totally get it, people want to go out, they want an experience, they want some fun and good food and creative food, they want some nice and locally made craft beer. I get it.
We only have half of that.
And we do. We don't have the food part.
Right.
So, yeah, if you haven't been to the brewery before, you can bring your own food in.
Don't come hungry.
Yes. You can bring your own food in, or you can order from our local restaurants. We have so many local restaurants in downtown Waterloo. We would absolutely love for you to support them. We've got a deal with Shorty Smokehouse, which is right next door to us. You literally tell them that you're going next door to Stubborn, and they'll give you their food on a tray, just like if you're eating in their dining room, and you just bring your tray over here to Stubborn. And when you're done with your tray, you give it to the bartender. And
there's a conveyor that goes under the alley,
Yes.
right into the kitchen over there.
Right to the dishwasher.
we'll return the trays to Shorty's. And like Pie Hard Pizzeria, which is just like around the corner down a half a block, they'll even do free delivery to the brewery. With their pizzas and sandwiches and salads. So
that might have to happen tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Now, you guys don't serve food, but you do accommodate. You've got napkins and paper plates and plasticware and
yeah,
water.
we have
and
salt and pepper.
Seating,
We have-
seating for all the table space. And
So it's encouraged if it enhances your stay.
Absolutely.
So we've learned that you don't serve food, and we learned how to get food, but we didn't exactly hear the why.
Ooh. We didn't want to tell you that part. That's why we didn't say it.
That's a
I
secret.
think the truth is that Chris and I are just not passionate about food.
I'm passionate about eating
yes,
food.
that's
and so
true.
is Tammy.
I love to eat.
We love to eat, but
Well, and
But
that's
not making and
creating the
creating
food.
food.
I have a
and-
little bit of that in me, but not enough to start a restaurant. And after talking to some of our friends that have even been on this podcast in earlier episodes, they are wildly passionate about creating dishes and making flavors go together. That's not me. I can't even make a grilled cheese. You don't want me making your schnitzel and your bratwurst.
That being said, he does have a Rice Krispie Treats beer coming soon. So
I saw that.
No actual Rice Krispie Treats will be harmed in the making of that beer, by the way.
Oh my.
Well, and I think that's the right answer because you guys do a great job of doing what you do well, and,
I mean,
and that's it.
Honestly, it takes a lot of work and effort and behind the scenes organization and everything just to do what we do here with our beer and bourbon.
Without food,
I could not imagine doing it with food where we have a kitchen and staff and equipment and a grease trap and...
Well, there's that too,
Yeah, we're just not even set up at all for that.
But I think we've all been to restaurants or establishments that try to do everything, and they got a real wide menu and a real wide liquor selection, a whole bunch of beer, and they got bands and TVs and the whole thing. And it's like, it's kind of overwhelming, and everything is kind of mediocre.
Yeah,
so,
it's hard to do any of that really, really well when you're trying to stretch yourself, so thin.
For sure. And mentioning Shorty's next door, the barbecue place, and Pie Hard, the pizza and sandwich restaurant, those guys, they don't do beer.
Right.
They do what they do really well. So now you get the best of all worlds by bringing it in.
Exactly.
From some real craftsmen on this block. It's cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Right on. So now you know.
That's it.
Is there anything you won't allow in here food-wise?
Yes.
Okay. What do you got?
No.
Well, there's
Chinese.
No, there's nothing we don't allow. But if you do come,
I've brought Chinese in here. Don't worry.
If you do come on a Friday during like Lenten fish fry season, the whole place smells like fried fish.
It smells like a fish fry.
Because
that's just the people.
Because everyone brings their favorite fish fry food to the brewery, and they have their onion rings and their fries, and obviously their fish, and it's just like a little overpowering sometimes. But I mean, we do it too. So, I mean, it's not looked down upon at all.
It's fun, actually. I love looking through the place when it's packed on a Friday during Lent and seeing all the different it's all the different types of styrofoam containers. It's like, well, that's different than that. That's
that's JV's. That's VFW.
Yeah, it's like
that's Family Kitchen.
The taste of Southern Illinois fried.
It can be torture if you come in here on a Friday night and you haven't eaten yet, and you smell Shorties or some brisket or whatever.
Now the one. In the past, the one event that's kind of thrown this a curveball was the Bavarian Breakfast. Which was a food event, but it was, a ticket-based thing. It wasn't general public kind of stuff. And so that was different. But you can't come here on a regular Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
And, that was the one time
food.
we had food.
That was a special.
And, Chris and I, we haven't even really talked about this, but one of the things, so our son has food allergies, and when he was little, it gave me so much anxiety going out to eat, to the fact that we didn't go out to eat, because I was like, do I really trust this cook in the back to be changing their gloves all the time, and that there's no cross-contamination and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's kind of cool. Like, if you have special dietary needs and you still want to enjoy the atmosphere of going out to eat and being with other people and socializing, like, it's totally acceptable to just bring your own food, whether it's, allergy related or just food preference or whatever.
Bring what you can eat or what you want to eat. Yeah.
And what you're comfortable with.
Right.
I'm seeing a new T-shirt. We don't accommodate special food needs at the Stubborn German. Because, I think we've wrapped that up. So that it's a great reason.
Now you can bring your own food. But and I might be skipping questions here, but what can't you bring in here? That's your own
giraffe.
No giraffes allowed.
So he is skipping ahead to number 5.
Oh man,
that's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But number 5 is no glitter or confetti. That drives Chris and I nuts.
Is that a thing? I heard you mention that. I'm like, glitter? What?
We have a very strict no glitter, no confetti policy.
And before you had that policy, people just came in here with their glitter.
As does Germany, by the way. Okay. So you're just being authentic.
They do. That's right. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, people would not believe when they, so we have a basement that's a little speakeasy, and people rent it out for parties, and they like to decorate. So, even in my rules for the basement, it says no confetti or glitter or balloons with confetti in them.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing, too.
Those
but
are
basically,
smugglers.
if any glitter or confetti gets in the building, I promise you it will end up in our dishwasher and clogs the dishwasher, and then we have to repair it. and it ends up costing us money.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
is, that sounds so crazy. No one would believe that a little piece of confetti is
For sure.
Oh,
Is that
it totally
crazy?
does.
It
Yeah.
goes a long way. It's like
Yeah.
the butterfly effect.
yeah.
Yeah,
That-
you know those little table decorations, like when it's your 40th birthday, and they say like 40 all over, and you sprinkle 100 of them out. Like those were in the dishwasher. It's like,
Man.
how do I?
Wow.
But they just get all over, and it's just impossible to clean. And it's not fair, I feel like, to our bartenders to
Right.
have to like clean all that
Take
up.
an extra
so.
20 minutes and try to sweep all that
But
junk
most
up.
people
Yeah.
are really receptive to this, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I hate glitter," and I'm like, "Oh, you are my people." Like,
Well, that's a good observation. Is Jared and I know we're thinking no glitter as apparel.
I'm thinking like on your cheeks
Yes,
or whatever. you
but in
know,
reality, it's like
Oh.
in
Well, as long as you're not smearing your cheeks all over the table.
in
Or
You
whatever.
can wear whatever you
cards
want.
and
Right.
stuff like that is what she's talking about. Yeah,
It's when you have
Okay.
a party and try
Yes.
to decorate with it.
not Jared's stripper glitter. It's
Right.
different. Yeah, all right.
So if I come here from the club and I've got glitter on me,
You got to stand
I
outside.
got to go outside.
That's kind of your own problem, really.
All right. Well, so we got number 5 now. So now we
Sorry.
got 9 and 5. I'll do number 10, if you don't mind.
Go for
I
it.
got one.
Do it.
It's a common thing that I hear, and it's why do you close so early?
Why do we
Gosh,
close
I
so
feel
early?
like we've addressed that in a few episodes.
Yeah, but if somebody wants the
That's a
whole
good one,
gamut
yeah.
of
Yeah, here it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah, so we close at 10 o'clock pretty much Tuesday through Saturday.
Saturday.
And then on Sundays, we close at 6 p.m. So, yeah, we do get a little trouble for that. But it's really because that is kind of when our clientele just tends to go home and chill out or whatever. And we just don't really have, like, how do I say this?
How do you say it?
I don't know. We don't have, like, the party, rough.
well, you don't
Crowd.
have this. This
Yeah.
atmosphere is not necessarily catered to an all-night dance party.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a place to come relax, chill out, socialize.
Yeah, and we have really, really good bartenders, and they all have families and day job, like full-time day jobs or whatever. And so, we want to be respectful to them because even after we close, they are here at least an hour, probably in an hour and a half,
Sweeping
doing
up glitter.
Yeah.
cleaning. So yeah, it's to be respectful to our bartenders, and that's what we do
Becky doesn't want to be here till 1 a.m. and have to go to work at 8. That's not right.
in St. Louis.
In
Yeah.
St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
There
if we
you
want to keep good bartenders, we have to close early. That's
For sure.
That's a big part of it too.
So what I will recommend in your strategy of being a patron of this establishment, the earlier you show up, the longer it's open.
Ah, there you
There
go.
you go.
Bingo. I
Get
mean,
here
we're
early.
open right now.
Yeah, you
true.
could be here right now.
You
I've
could.
literally had people come in at like 9:45 and they're like, "Why do you close so late or so early?" It's like, dude, we've been open for like 10 hours. Like you
Right.
could have been here earlier.
Get here at noon.
You come here 15 minutes left in our. No, we are ready to get out of here.
Yeah, all right, good. Okay, so we
Yep.
get that one solved.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
solved.
what's next?
Well, the next one, which is number 2 on my list, but so we don't fill your beer all the way to the top of the glass.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no,
crooks.
why would you? Come on.
So sometimes people think or assume that they're getting short pours or they're getting screwed out of beer that they're paying for because we don't fill your glass all the way to the top with beer.
Of that particular glass. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, so we have 2 different size pours, 8-ounce and 16-ounce pours. And like all of our 8-ounce pours actually are poured in a 12-ounce glass. And we do that so there's room for head or foam on the top of the beer. So you can really enjoy the aroma of the beer. It gives it perfect carbonation. It's really drinkable.
So,
Sorry.
Did you moan? I think he moaned.
man.
Having a
And-
moment.
Yes, and then like our 16-ounce glasses are really, some of them are up to 20 ounces, like our Hefeweizen, our wheat
I think
glasses.
the mugs are 18. The mugs literally have a line about
Yeah.
an inch below, and you're supposed to fill to that line, and the rest is head right there.
Yeah, and you need room for your nose to get in there and
Right.
smell the beer. And
Right.
So that's goes back to the old German law, right? That
is the law.
1 liter is a liter in Germany. You can't underpour that.
Yeah.
But 8 ounces in a 12-ounce glass does look like an underpour, but
Absolutely,
you're getting your deal.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you're getting your 8 ounces that you're paying for.
Now,
Yeah,
how
I
often would
promise.
you say someone complains about that? Not too
Twice a
often?
week.
Oh, wow.
Twice a week, you
Okay.
I think, and it's usually new people, which
Yeah.
is fine. You know, they don't know. They'll be like, "Oh, can you top this off for me?" And it's like, well, you actually are getting 8 ounces of beer or 16 ounces of beer. So
We always say you get what the menu says, which is either 8 or 16, and we throw in the foam for free.
Nice.
Free foam.
Kind like that, yeah.
And that's
But I feel like more places are actually moving towards that, and they're starting to understand the importance of foam on a beer. Because I remember when we were young and going out, like, you'd get a pint glass and it'd be all the way full just with no beer.
Yeah.
But now I think, and it's classy,
and
too.
that's one of the old bar tricks, like how to stretch a keg even further, is when you use those shaker pints, the glass, everyone's got them, the glass shaker pints. We serve our water and a few mixed drinks in them here, along with shaking drinks like you're supposed to do with them. But a lot of bars will serve their draft beer in that, and up to the very, very top, like with a meniscus on it and everything, that is 16 ounces of liquid.
Right.
Now, you can't obviously do that with liquid
You
beer.
can't carry it.
Yeah, there's going to be some head there. So
Yeah.
so you get half an inch of foam if you're lucky. Sometimes it's more like an inch or 2 inches of foam, and they hand that to you. And so you literally paid for 16 ounces of beer but only got 14. So
It's
So
a
you have
trap.
special glasses
It's a
that
trap.
accommodate the foam.
that's right.
All right, good to know. And now,
A lot of
Our
thought has gone
listeners
into
know.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So if you're if you're thinking about coming to Stubborn German, we need you to review this podcast before you come.
yeah,
Listen to it on your way over.
yep.
Yeah. There you
This is
go.
so funny.
This also reminds me of in the 90s when the electronic shot metering devices came out.
Oh, yes.
Remember those? Boy, were those a party
Well, no,
killer.
because I wasn't
Tammy did a
21.
whole lot of shots in the 90s.
Well, see, it
She
used to
was
be
12.
you'd go to a bar, and if you knew the bartender or the policy of the bar was to give you a strong pour and a shot or even a drink, and then they screwed these things on top of the bottles that metered out the exact 1 ounce. And it was like, oh, you have those. Okay, let's go somewhere else.
Give me a little shake there, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a way to circumnavigate that, but it's good for business.
I'm sure there's a hole you can drill out, right? Like if you're the bartender, after hours, you could drill those holes out.
Yeah, I used to
and then-
sell hot rodded versions, in the black market in the alley.
It's like rejetting a carburetor.
That's
What's the
man.
big deal?
Can't tell if you put the sticker right back over it.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. We've seen 10, 9, 5, and 2. What's next?
4 and 3 have to be in there, right?
Yeah, so number 3 is about our bourbon of the week.
Yeah.
About how it is served neat or on the rocks only.
Yes. Well,
Boo.
what do you mean, boo?
I'm kidding.
How do you want
That's
it?
all I only ever get it neat. So.
We hear that every once in a while from
And
somebody.
bourbon, do people know what bourbon of the week is?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go.
Okay.
So bourbon of the week is each week I pick a different bourbon or rye whiskey. It doesn't have to be a bourbon; it can be a rye, and it's half price. So that's kind of the shtick. There is that it's whatever I am able to purchase, or maybe I have had sitting around, or maybe it's something.
No,
new.
it's always special.
It is always Well, I'm getting there. It's something new and upcoming that I've heard about, and it's like, all right, we're going to get a couple cases of that, and we're going to get people maybe excited about that, or maybe they'll try it and realize they don't like it. Either way, you didn't have to pay much for it because it's half off. So it's a way to kind of expand your bourbon horizons. Uh-oh, Tammy's writing one down.
No.
I thought you thought of a
She
new one.
wrote down Bourbon Horizons.
Bourbon Horizons.
That's Jared's new band's name.
That's right.
I think so.
Bourbon
But so
Horizons,
anyway,
that's a good name.
when we do that, in order to get into that new bourbon, it kind of needs to be neat or maybe on the rocks, right? Or maybe a splash of water. But if you're mixing it with Coke or mixing
Yeah.
it with ginger beer or putting it in an old fashioned, like, are you really tasting what that bourbon tastes like? So it kind of defeats the
Right.
purpose of the reason that we do that. We don't need to give bourbon away at half price. We do it because we think it's a fun, interactive way for anyone that comes in here. I was going to say our regulars, but really anybody to try whatever we have at the time. So that's why it's neater on the rocks. And some people want to use that bourbon, but mix it with Coke or something, and
Right.
Just to
then
get
we're
like
the
a
bad
cheap
guy.
drink,
Yeah. Right.
which
Yeah.
I get. I mean, I totally understand it.
Because sometimes bourbon of the week's only like $3 or whatever. So if you can get $3 and then pay maybe 50 cents or $1 extra to put it in some Coke, yeah, that'd be a sweet deal. But then, I mean, like,
Defeats the purpose.
We got bills to pay too.
For sure. I think it's cool that you do that because it is a way to dip your toe in the drink, if you will. And
Yeah. Hey, if you don't like it, you usually have only paid between $3 and maybe $6 for it. I mean,
Yeah, it's a heck of a deal. I've tried many that I probably never would have tried. If I
well, so
hadn't.
the other thing that is unique about that is it's like the only bourbon, maybe outside of one or two, that comes with a big cue card on the wall.
That's
So
true.
you get to learn about it. You get
Tells
to see
you all
the
about
name
it.
and all
Right.
what it is, and then you can try
tasting
it.
notes and
Yeah, Chris spends a lot of time. Yeah, if you haven't been here, we've got a Bourbon of the Week chalkboard on the bar back, and it says what the Bourbon of the Week is and a couple sentences about it, and then he has tasting notes with like the nose, the taste, and the finish of it. So, yeah, it's supposed to be like an interactive learning experience, the Bourbon of the Week.
It's got a little asterisk on the bottom. It says, "Your nose may vary."
It should.
No,
All
it's
right.
cool. I always suggest if somebody's coming in and they're not sure what to get, I'm like, Bourbon of the Week.
Yeah,
there
try
you
that.
go.
Why not? I know. We've had some really crazy stuff on there that like I wouldn't consider doing that now. We had Blanton's on there. We've
Oh,
had
wow.
Weller 12 as Bourbon of the Week. We've had some stuff that is impossible to get now. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking probably 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Kind of when we first opened and started doing that, but
See, what you did is you hooked everybody on it.
yeah,
And now you can't even get it.
I know.
You're pioneer.
I know. I got to be careful what I put on there now because
For sure.
it's something I want to drink. Then I probably
Right.
don't want to do that.
That's it. Exactly.
Keep it as a secret.
All right. Well, so none of these are like really bad complaints. These are just like
Right.
quirks of the operation.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's things that, people do wonder about and maybe get a little, I don't know, frustrated or something if they don't understand. So it's
Yeah,
good that you're
yeah.
kind of letting people know.
And so like
how
the
it
worst situation is like if we're like slammed busy and maybe a bartender doesn't have time to like fully explain why and they just kind of give it a no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Or owner says so or whatever. Like that's
Chris says so.
yeah,
right.
That's obviously not
Just-
going to fly
they
with
just turn
a
and point to Chris across the bar.
see him.
So really, this is just a good way to manage expectations.
Yes, I am a big believer in managing expectations.
At least you are now.
Right.
All right. What else
What's
we
next?
have on the list?
Okay, so the next one is on me. I feel like Bourbon of the Week is on Chris, but this next one is on me. Number 4 is that we don't ship merchandise.
Aha.
Yeah. Why don't you, Tammy? You should. I mean, it's easy. You just go ship it, right?
Right.
So many people contact us
Just ship your
on
pants.
Facebook where they send us emails and they're like, hey, we love your logo, or, they see our shirt somewhere. Is there any way you can ship us a shirt? And I always have to say, I'm so sorry. I'm just unable to ship merchandise. And the main reason is I'm lazy.
Oh, wow,
That's
there
it.
you go.
That's the
don't
truth.
wanna-
There it is.
It's a good reason,
Okay.
I got to say.
You said it. So.
Owning it.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it really takes a lot of time to. And I've done it before, and every time I do it, I'm like, I'm not going to do it again because it takes so much time and it's a lot of back and forth. And then I send them pictures of the color of shirts we have, and then I wait for them to reply with what color they want, and then I get their payment info, and then I take it to the post office.
Okay,
and
so
it's-
Jared and I, the hair is standing up on the back of
Yeah,
our necks
man,
right
that
now.
sounds brutal.
Because we understand e-commerce, and there are things that do all
I
this for you.
know. And Kevin, you and I have even had that conversation before. You're like, dude, I got a website that people just go and order it, and
I never even see it. I
I
don't even
know.
know we have it, and it sells, and it's gone, and they get it.
I know, but I'm just
It's
like,
not as personal, hand-packed
it
by
still
Tammy.
That still takes time to set up that, even though it would save time in the long run.
We'll talk later.
There very well may be stubborn German merchandise to order soon.
Now,
No.
you might be able to talk her into doing that and shipping merchandise, but you will not let you talk me into mixing my Bourbon of the Week with
No, I
something
wouldn't.
else.
Yeah, I wouldn't try.
Don't
that.
even try.
But I'm just trying to knock one off your list here. Give
Yeah, that would
give,
be
give
nice,
people
yeah.
a little more happiness. But
But I can imagine, even with an automated system or something,
Well, you still
that
have
would
to
be a
set
lot.
up the automated system. That's
Yeah.
my thing, and it's just like not that big of a priority to me.
the thing
And
that's challenging is unless you have an automated fulfillment system and ordering system and payment management system, people are impatient. And they
I
ordered their
know.
shirt, and then they're emailing and calling every 10 minutes saying, where's my shirt, where's my shirt? And if you want to be efficient, you want to stack up 10 orders and go to the post office at once
Right.
and get them all
Right.
out at once. And nobody wants to wait anymore. We live in a society.
Don't you have Prime shipping?
Yeah, well, what's amazing to me, even in our business, is that you order something. It used to be you order, you wait, and you kind of get a little nice surprise when it comes in the mail. It's like, oh, look, I got something in the mail.
I don't
Today-
even remember when I ordered that.
Correct. Today, you not only know where it is real time, you know the driver's name and what his dog's name is and where they are in
It's
your house.
4 stops away.
Oh,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a little too much information that the consumer is available to. So
And like same day shipping for on Amazon. It's like, do you seriously have the little fitting that I'm waiting for in a vehicle like right around the block? It's just waiting, sitting there waiting. Like you heard me thinking about it or
they
talking.
came in and broke yours, and then they walked outside,
Yep.
and then they're waiting for orders.
That might be what's happening.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the merch that you guys offer, that you cannot order, so don't get too excited here. You have to come in.
You have to come here, drink a beer, and then order or buy
Have
a shirt.
an experience here and take
your
home
shirt,
a souvenir.
Your shirt will mean a lot more
Right.
when you have
Yeah.
the beer and spill beer on it.
And the,
true.
the current variety of offerings is what? Because that has gone up and down a little bit as far as the different things that you guys offer.
Yeah, what do we have now?
Yes, so we have T-shirts. Sometimes we have tie-dye shirts, which go over really
Those
well.
are cool. I
And
dig
then
those.
I have a bunch of different glassware, like ceramic mugs, glass mugs, engraved Glencairn glasses, coffee mugs that have
Hats.
a really clever saying on them. Yes, hats, stubborn German socks, koozies or coolie cups, whatever you
I call them
wanna call
koozies.
'em.
Yeah.
He calls them koozie cups, I think.
Koozie cups.
Yeah, that's about it.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And cool, like plenty of color varieties and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can always do better on our merchandise. I think of Stumpy's Spirits in Columbia, and they do merchandising like to the T. Like they have so much different merchandise that they sell, and I'm just not really that in. Like I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the time and energy and
Now, I bought
Stuff to do it.
for my son an infant onesie about a year ago, and I would buy toddler stuff. I'm just saying, if you want to.
I've had a request for toddler merchandise and then also like dog merchandise,
Oh, okay.
like collars
Dog
and
sweaters.
leashes.
But the thing is, dogs and toddlers only account for about 6% of our beer sales every year. So
Right.
it's hardly worth it.
You got to start them early.
There's something there. I'm not going to go into it, but there's a joke in there somewhere. So the other side of that equation, though, is the creation of the merch is more complex than most people realize.
It is.
The shipping
and
is one thing, but getting everything made on time to spec, what you want, artwork, and
it is a whole thing. And we have our friend, Pat Aarons, owns Full Throttle Screen Printing here in Waterloo, and he does a great job. And yeah, so if I do like an online, like he doesn't do like the online store where he ships it directly out. So I'd have to like outsource that to another printing company, and I just like don't want to take business away from him. And
Yeah, you
I
are
don't know.
supporting local with
Yeah.
your merchandise.
Nice.
maybe there's a hybrid solution here where you take the orders and then you just tell Pat to ship it out.
Maybe we give them to Kevin, and Kevin ships
There
them
you
out.
go.
Does all the back and forth communication.
You got to support local, Kevin.
I
Come
can
on, Kevin.
I can certainly help with the e-commerce solution.
Yeah.
But
I know,
I'm not a
so
putter in
old
boxer.
school. Like I'm 38 years old, and I'm like the internet's like we have to do an e-commerce store.
What?
So basically, you have to earn your shirt, friends. You have to come here.
You have to physically come here. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a personal touch.
It really is. You pick it out.
Yeah. So that solves that one.
Yeah.
Now you know.
That's it. Yep. Next.
Next one. So we're skipping ahead to number 6 because number 5 was the glitter or
Yeah.
confetti. But number 6 was we really don't allow people to bring in their outside alcohol to the brewery.
Why not?
No,
They have these thing called laws, I think.
Oh,
Right?
which it's hard because if some bars and restaurants in town don't enforce the laws, then it makes it hard
Sure.
for the people that do enforce the laws because customers
Totally.
just don't understand how it works.
Right.
But
yeah. Most of the time, they're not trying to break rules and stuff, but necessarily. But yeah, it's a violation of your liquor license to bring any other alcohol inside of a building that has a liquor license. So anything in that particular bar, as far as alcohol goes, has to be bought from that place. It can't come from a different place. So these people that do bus trips and go in with everybody's got a Budweiser or whatever in their hand, like you can't do that. Now, the way they get away with it is like if you go to, another bar in town that sells Budweiser in the same can, how would anyone ever really know where you bought it? So that's how you get away with it. Well, here we only sell our own beer. So if you come in here with a can of anything besides a Stubborn German
I was
beer,
going to say, what if I bring in a can of Stubborn German that I
you've already-
got
from Schneider's? That would be illegal.
There you go.
And we would not be able to really know that either.
You would have to stay outside.
We'll have to mark every Schneider's beer that goes out.
Well,
right.
make them a
Yeah.
can, special can.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
we've heard stories where the liquor commissioner will just pop in, on a Friday night or Saturday or whatever, and they actually close the entrances and exits, and they're like, okay, where did you get this, Bud Light from or
They go
whatever?
through the place, and
And then if the bar does not have a receipt for that can of Bud Light that shows they paid the right tax on it and it went through the whole distribution channel, then their liquor they get fined. Like the bar gets fined.
they get fined, and too many of those, and you can lose your liquor license. So-
That's
Yeah.
not good.
And
No.
I don't know if this is actually going to happen, like someone come in and inspect us or whatever, but we just like to follow the rules. So
Sure.
it's kinda-
Plus, I also feel like you wouldn't go to Pie Hard and bring in
Bring in
Pizza
some
Hut or
emos,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, come on, this is what they do: is
and
sell beer.
I was going to bring that up too. Like,
Bring in your own.
Obviously, people are going to say, "Oh, you just want money." Well, I mean, we are kind of in business, to make a living, and so if you're buying your beer from somebody else, bringing it to our establishment, I'm kind of like, well. I mean, the next one better be bought here if you're going to soak up my air conditioning. I mean, that's honestly how
right.
we feel. But
Well, and that supply chain regulation goes even deeper because you can only purchase alcohol from the proper distributor.
Yeah, exactly.
To sell here, so
Yep.
you can't go down to the local grocery store if you're running low on a bottle of Makers and go grab one and
Right.
sell it here. That's
Exactly.
a bozo no also.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, there's lots of little intricate kind of things like that, and if you're not in the bar business, you just would never know.
I didn't know that. I just
Yeah.
figured it was, policy. Like, don't bring in your own
I
beer.
used to do that. We'd go, friends
Yeah.
would get married
don't
or whatever.
admit that.
Well, you got to be careful because the other thing
I
is
have seen someone do this.
yeah, open containers on city streets is also not a thing.
That's not supposed to be a
Yeah.
thing either.
And I went to jail in Mexico for that. So we
You
Wow.
did?
yes, I did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to take
There's
a
a
time
whole
out
other
from this
podcast for that
podcast.
episode.
Okay, do tell.
We're-
You really want to hear that story?
Yes.
Kind of.
All right, I'll try to truncate this as much as possible.
Do we not want to hear it?
You really want to hear how I went
What's
to jail
what's
in
our
Mexico?
time on that? Do we have time,
Oh, we're
Mr.
fine.
Producer?
We will make time.
All right, so it's 1998, and I was working for Hot Rod Magazine in L.A., and I was in ad sales at the time, and I didn't know anything about ad sales, and I didn't know anything about quotas and numbers and sales incentives and all this stuff. I was just showing up because I wanted to get my foot in the door. And it turned out that I took over a desk for a different sales guy, and he left me with this awesome setup, meaning I had a lot of great clients. They were the numbers were really strong. I was doing really well without even being there, right? I stepped into a great thing. And at the end of the year, I ended up winning into an incentive vacation trip to Cabo San Lucas. Still don't know how I did it, but they're like, congratulations. You sold 168% of your quota, you win. Great.
Sweet.
So we get on a plane, we go down to Cabo, you get off the plane, go down the steps, and it's an open tarmac, and it's the Wild West, and you get in a van. Well, first a bus that takes you through all these villages, and you get in a van, and that takes you to the hotel, and it was at the Twin Dolphin Resort, and even back then it was like $450 a night. I mean, it was serious. Nice place. Infinity pool and the whole deal. And the first night we were going to go into Cabo San Lucas to go see, of course, Cabo Wabo, Sammy Hagar's bar, and
Yeah.
I think there's a Senor Frogs. I think that's where it all went down, was at Senor Frogs.
That's where it always goes down.
I know, right?
Nothing good happens. there.
So we're all partying at Senor Frogs, and a local guy comes up and said, hey, you want another beer? And I said, no, I'm good, but I'm waiting in line, and it's 100 people deep, and it's super hot, and it's late. So I noticed that this guy has the ability to get right to the bar and get drinks, and he's helping people out, right? Sure, I'll tell you what, I'll take a couple of Bud Lights, and this guy goes and he gets us the drinks, and I give him a little tip, and I'm thinking, helping the local economy, I got a good service, I'm happy. So we do this for a period of time, and we want to go somewhere else. Let's go next door. Okay, well, wait, let me finish my beer. And our friend says, oh, no, it's okay. You can bring that with you. It's okay. We're in Mexico. We're in Cabo. All right, no problem. So we step outside, and I have an open container, and at that second, the federales grabbed me and my two cohorts
Wow.
and right into a Jeep Grand Cherokee police vehicle,
Oh, my
the
goodness.
policia, down the road and into a Mexican jail that looked like a Mexican jail. I mean, it had
Holy cow.
an archway that was like stone with, the jail bars and everything.
You're thinking this is where it ends, huh?
It was over. Yeah, I was done. Well, so I had enough presence of mind to take my wallet, and I kind of went through my wallet because in Cabo, it's not mainland Mexico, so they don't get a lot of federal money. They're kind of on their own. So I took my wallet, and I had I had $150 or something in my wallet.
Yeah.
And I took 100 of that out, and I put it in my sock. Okay, and then I put the wallet back in my pants.
You did this while you were
In the police car. Right? So they get us out of the car. They throw us in the jail. Clink, And the guy's like, good night. Right? And my two buddies and I are like, this ain't cool. And the one guy's getting a little bit angry. And
Now, would anybody have known where you were at this point? That you were.
Nobody would have cared.
Were there
Everybody was
cell
out.
phones?
No. It's not,
Right.
I didn't have a phone that worked in Mexico in 98. It just wasn't going to happen. And
Well,
everybody was out partying. And
Yeah.
they would have found out probably by noon or 1 o'clock the next day, when we didn't make brunch. So I asked the officer, sir, can you come here for a minute? And he said, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Really, what's it going to take for us to get out of here? And he said, oh, no, you're staying the night. Well, none of us really want to stay the night. We're not really sure what we did. It's not like we're violent criminals or anything. And he said, well, no, you're going to have to stay here tonight. I said, look, I got a $450 a night hotel room. I really want to get back to that. No offense to you and your facility, but I really like to go.
It's a nice place, but
for sure. Never mind what it smelled like. And he said, okay, what do you got? And I turned to my two buddies. I said, what do you got? And they went, what do you mean? I said, get your wallet out. What do you got? So they dumped out all their money, and it was, $180 or something. And I take my wallet out, and I got, another $50, and we put it all together. And so we're like $230 or something. And we hand it to him, and he goes, oh, no, I'm sorry, it's $300. And I said, so if we had $300, we can get out of here? And he said, yeah. I said, you serious? Really? We're just short. We just can't. You can't. No, yeah, we had $300. Got it. I reached down to my sock, made the payment, bam, got out.
Wow.
He honored his word.
wow.
Got the heck out of there.
Did you
my
buy a
goodness.
beer and walk around?
This is not what I did. So to this day, I'm a little sensitive to carrying open containers around in public places for fear of the federales.
I guess.
So you asked for it.
Wow.
Kevin doesn't even like to sit by the front door with an open container. So,
Well, not at any place that is the mascot's a frog.
and you didn't try the old. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, that doesn't work there. In fact, that doesn't work anywhere.
It works here.
That's awesome.
Not
That is a good story.
That's a good Kevin story.
That's true.
You never know when one's going to pop up.
Yeah. I thought I remember that one when I was in space also.
All right, Tammy, what do we got
You
next
know, I'm
on your
still
list?
kind of in shock.
She is. I can
I
tell.
don't know what to
She
think.
doesn't know what to say.
You're sitting next to a
I feel like you
darn near
think,
convicted felon.
Hardened
Yeah.
criminal over
you
here.
feel like you know someone.
I know.
And
Spent time in a
No, just
Mexican
wait.
Not only did he get thrown in the clinker, he paid off the police to get out.
and had the wherewithal to throw 100 in his sock, and
I
it
mean,
came back
seriously,
to
who
like
does
pay off.
that? If
I
it-
wouldn't know to do that.
I wouldn't either, but I should do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
now that I've heard this story,
Now
I
you
will.
know.
Let's look at it this way. If I didn't do that, we probably all wouldn't be sitting here. Right? Because who knows what would have happened.
Right.
What
man.
would have happened?
I don't know. Who
Like,
knows?
what
Nobody
happens
knows.
then?
Well, I would have stayed there all night and been
Were
pissed.
there other people in the jail?
At the time, it was just the three of us. But there was other vehicles pulling up with new recruits, if you will. But
So does that guy keep all that, or does that go like to the town?
I don't
or?
care. I mean, so
You didn't ask.
well, here's what I know, right? So my dad was a police officer, and I know that in countries like that, and again, especially in Cabo, at the time, they rely on tourism, and that's part of tourism.
Yeah.
Kind of shaken down to a degree.
Sure.
And I really empathize for law enforcement and for the cities and towns because they didn't have a lot of resources. And these poor guys have to put up with all these drunk Americans coming down every weekend from California
Yeah.
and destroying their town
Winning
and everything.
sales awards, getting free trips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
JOs like me. So I didn't feel bad about contributing to the cause. I mean, it kind of sucked that it, you know,
Ended up that way, yeah. But
it's all good.
You saw the
there was a reason for it,
Sure.
If it was like $10,000, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
Or if I stayed there a month, that'd be different.
Yeah, that'd be different. Now I'm pissed.
Yeah, this was just kind of like a sampler. It was okay.
Yeah, sampler. It was enough to get a good story out of it. You paid $150 for a pretty good story.
I learned. Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks for doing that and sharing.
I've paid more for worse stories.
Great. All right, what's next on the list?
So the last one that I have, and Chris can talk about this one, is that sometimes customers come up and they ask for a sour beer.
Oh, they do?
Like an old
Yes.
one? Or?
I didn't know anybody wanted those.
Yeah.
Like an old
Well,
one.
you can probably go into like what a sour
okay.
is, and
Yeah. So, where do I start with this? So, I mean, sour beer is definitely a trendy, it's newly popular, I would say, within the last 5 years, 10 years for sure. Is kind of when there are some very, very old classic examples of some sour beers, like a Berliner Weiss is a sour wheat beer from
Is it
Berlin.
SAUR, that one?
SAUR, yeah, sour, like Sauerbraten. But a lot of really good sour beers are actually made in St. Louis. There's a lot of really good breweries that do sours extremely well. And
What's in it?
explain what.
Yeah, it's
Vinegar.
It can be basically a regular beer, except using regular yeast. You use bacteria or wild yeast, depending on what you're trying to make, and it literally lowers the pH and makes it sour tasting.
So is this the beer equivalent of sourdough bread?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
In my experience, they generally wring out a gym sock as well, and they got to get that in there.
There definitely a lot of times is some kind of funk to them. Sometimes they can be like clean sour,
Sock funk ale.
or they can be sweat sock funky. But so I mean, there's different types of sours, but I just never really got into that as a home brewer and as a kind of
thank you for that.
Well, some people do.
Some people really, really want us to do that and really don't understand why we don't do it. But honestly, it's sort of like the food thing. Like it's just not what I do and have ever done. So
I'm not
gonna,
good at making bad beer.
Yeah,
what he's trying to say.
basically. I'm serious. I've only had one, and it was early in my craft beer experiences, and it almost turned me off to craft beer in general. I was like,
Wow.
if this is what drinking craft beer is, no thanks.
Well, I tell you what, in the right context, it's probably good. If
Maybe
you get
I had the wrong
then
one,
first thing.
yeah.
But if it's
For
not
sure.
your forte, you're not confident in brewing it authentically like you do everything
Yeah.
else. That's the thing.
That's really it, yeah. And I mean, I appreciate a good sour beer if it's given to me and if it's done well. I know a good one when I see it or when I taste it, I guess. But if I had 20 beers in my fridge and one of those was sour, I would drink all 19 other ones first, and
Right.
then when there was nothing else left,
Then it's really sour.
I'd probably go make another batch of something else and bring. I just don't,
Yeah.
I don't go for it on my own.
hear you.
Again, if someone hands me one, okay, I'll partake or whatever. But
Well,
So-
and
I'm not that snobbish. Like, I will not do that. Now, I will not brew. I actually did brew a 5-gallon batch of one for the firm for a homebrew
Okay.
competition, and I thought it was actually kind of tasty. But whatever.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not a huge stout or porter fan. I mean, I'll drink them from time to time, but I don't generally enjoy it. But the ones I've had here, I've always said, actually, that's not too bad. So if you were to make a sour, I would
Maybe
try
it
it.
wouldn't be too
and
bad.
maybe some people would like it.
well, and isn't it if you introduce that bacteria into your equipment?
Yeah, you can.
We're
yeah.
really good about cleaning things, but
Yeah.
if any of that bacteria was left, then it could
There have definitely been.
Then
unintentionally
there's
sour other
science,
beers.
Yes, there have been some horror stories of some breweries that did not use dedicated equipment, and then that sour bug, the bacteria, got into something that it shouldn't have, and it's very difficult to clean that out of whatever it's in.
It sounds angry.
Yeah, I know. So it's kind of like it's sort of just like the easy move to just say, well, we don't do sours, and you never have to mess with that, you know. But there are ways to do it. You can do a kettle sour, which it only is in your boil kettle, and then you literally boil it the next day. So it sours it overnight, and you boil it the next day. So whatever was in there is dead because it's boiled. But, you know, bad bug-wise is all dead. And then you ferment it like normal, like a regular beer. Just brew the beer like normal, and now you have a sour beer that didn't really, you know,
Take over the
contaminate
world.
anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there are ways to do it. And one of our new brewer additions, Steve, is a big sour beer guy. Not a big sour beer guy, but he knows his stuff. He's definitely made some really good sour beers, and he's already chewing on me a little bit. So I'm like, no. So I'm standing strong. But I don't know.
Well, and Tara and Liz, our bartenders, they like
sour beer too. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just personal preference.
There's a place for it, and like I said, there's so many good breweries in our area.
Yeah.
So
It's
many
called a
good
locker
breweries.
room.
The closest one being Mill Pond. They make some really good sour beers too. Yep.
Well, what's
Yeah.
interesting is we're fortunate that our friend Chris here has a wide variety of taste in beers that you like.
Yeah.
Because really, this bar is beer according to Chris.
That's it. Yeah.
Filtered through your palate choices,
That's it.
and that's like
It's a
maybe-
selfish kind of thing, but like that's really it. Like if I make beer that I want to drink, somehow that has led us to a little bit of success. So like we're just gonna keep going that route.
It's working.
So maybe there's one or two styles that you don't like, which you won't find. Is there another one that you don't? I'm sure there's got to be another kind of beer you don't like.
I mean, Belgian beers in general just aren't my thing because, you know, Belgian beers, a lot of times the yeast character in a Belgian beer will be really like funky, kind of like you said, the dirty sock. You know, there have been people that have mentioned that on some Belgian beers every once in a while. And so, a lot of Belgian beers, the yeast character can be really, really nice. Like it's peppery and, you know, kind of spicy, a little clovey. Really nice and complementary to the beer. And I have played with a couple different Belgian beers at times here, but it's just not really I spend so much time and dedicate a lot of effort and energy to make my beer as clean as it possibly can be. That
It's not your cup of beer.
It just seems crazy it's not my mug of beer.
So a Belgian beer, is that just a style, or is it actually popular there?
No, it's a style that again, there's other breweries in the St. Louis area that make a living on they do Belgian beer just like we do German beer. So it's
The reason why I ask is we have at our shop we have a customer from Belgium who's coming here. I
cool.
think in a couple of weeks.
yeah.
And I wanted to bring him by if time allows.
Well, I hope we still have our Belgian beer on tap. We have one.
So you do have one now.
We have one, yeah.
Otherwise we're gonna.
It's called Tidy Whitey.
That's what I just had
That's
tonight.
right. You got one. Yeah.
I was thinking of Steve's beer. Steve's
Oh.
Swinging Belgian Single.
Yeah.
It's a single.
Oh,
So
so
we
Yeah.
have
A couple of them.
we
two.
have two of them
Well,
right now. Then
I would say Tidy Whitey is not a true to style. It's more of a hoppy version of a wit
Yeah.
beer than it is a true wit beer. So he's probably going to taste Tidy Whitey and be like, "This is crap."
What is this?
Well, I'm wondering if he's had enough Belgian beer in his life.
Oh, and maybe
you
he
know,
wants
maybe
some
it's
German
different,
beer, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So who knows? But we'll see.
We'll find out.
All right.
That's it. Yep.
Did we make it through the whole list?
Yep, that's all I got.
Wow. So
That wasn't bad.
Outside of those, everybody is ecstatic and happy when they're here.
I feel like they really are.
I think so too. And those really, like I said, those really aren't. They're the rules of the game. That's all they are, you know. And I think if you know ahead of time, none of these are like you must hit yourself with a hammer before walking through the door. You know, it's not like ridiculous hazing stuff. It's no, we don't make food. We don't know how, so we're not.
So
gonna
which
do it.
of these do you get the most often? What's the most?
I'm going to guess the food.
The food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get people that on a Monday, we're closed on Mondays. They'll come like on Monday at noon and try to open the door like we're open. Like
Saying,
like,
"Where's
the
my lunch?"
The only thing I can think is that they're here for lunch, you know? So,
And I feel
yeah.
bad, and I really do wish that we could do it all and have an awesome restaurant here to go with it and everything. But
It'd
I
be
don't
cool.
know.
But yeah.
We're only two people, and
even if we were more than two
and
people,
even if we were,
this building
yeah.
is not set up for that
Yeah.
at all. So,
yeah.
So one time I was here, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but a couple of it was during daylight hours, late in the afternoon. You guys just opened, and they pulled up out in front and get out, and it's a couple of older ladies that to describe. They both had white hair, obviously senior citizen type people that came into the bar. and they were hungry, and they both said, "What do you have to eat?" And the bartender said, "I'm sorry, we don't serve food, but if you'd like to eat something, we have Shorty's Smokehouse next door," and told the whole story of the different places. And the one had this look on her face like she was just mad, you know.
Aww.
And the other one said, "Well, I guess we can order next door, and then we got to wait for it. So I think they walked next door and ordered and came back. I don't know what the deal was, but at some point the one woman said, "We're just going to stand here and waste time till we get our food." And I said, "Waste time? Being here is not a waste of time." And she looked at me and her eyes lit up and she goes, "Oh, you're right. This is the good time." And I said, "You got that right." So they stood.
Nice.
They were here like all day. It was great. I don't know if they ever ate anything, but they drank, and no time was wasted.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. And then they got in the cab and left or whatever. It was gone.
Great.
There you are.
Awesome.
All
Okay.
right. Well, this was great. If you are listening and you have any other gripes, hang on to them for our next episode.
Yeah, maybe next year.
We don't need them yet. We're working on it. But we appreciate you tuning in. If you are excited to know what the German word of the day is, we are too. What do you got?
Okay, the German word of the day was Eimer.
Right.
Eimer. I think Tammy said it was a soggy coaster.
Yep. That's it.
And a children's book.
Kevin said a children's book. No, wait, what did you
No.
say?
A poke in the eye.
I said a poke in the
poke
eye.
in the eye.
I think he
That's
said a violent
A
poke in the
violent
eye.
poke in the eye. That's right.
A meaningful one.
A meaningful.
With authority.
And Jarod
I said
said
a suit of armor.
suit of armor. That's correct. That's not correct. But that is what
That is
That's
what
you
I said.
Yeah, that's what you
Eimer,
incorrectly said.
Eimer actually means bucket.
Bucket.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, don't kick the Eimer here
All
later.
right.
Nice.
Bucket. Who would have thought?
Right.
I think I was the closest. No, I'm joking.
You know,
Coaster bucket. A bucket could be a coaster.
Soggy.
I'm
Well,
I feel like you could wear a bucket as a helmet or something. Suit
Safety,
of armor.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I've never gotten a bucket in the eye.
Right.
I put my eyes in buckets. I've done that. All right. Well, this was fun. Thanks for joining us, Tammy, and sharing the list of stuff. And again, helping to manage expectations of people that come here so that they have the best possible time. Mm-hmm. If you like the show, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be happy to beam you out another free episode next time. How about that?
yeah.
And for Tammy Ron, Mr. Jarod Chasson, and Mr. Chris Ron, I'm Kevin Osty saying,
Pros.